Hey everybody, it is Friday morning at about 2 o'clock, and I just got done watching The Suicide Squad. I took an unknowing nap this evening, and it's probably for the best because I was able to stay up, watch The Suicide Squad, and I gotta tell you, in comparison to the original Suicide Squad, this is leaps and bounds better than the David Ayers version. And it just goes to show you, when you have a talent like James Gunn, who I would argue is one of the most creative filmmakers in the business right now, and you have him and he's doing your Guardians movies, and then you find some tweets that, let's just be upfront with it, that assholes found and decided to throw out there because they didn't like what he was talking about politically. They decide, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get him in trouble. So what does the company do? They fire him, and he's like, okay, I'll go do my own thing. And this is what all filmmakers need to realize. If something happens to the negative, you find a way to turn it into a positive. James said, fine, to hell with it. I'm going to go to DC, and I'm going to do the Suicide Squad. And I got to tell you, while it may not be his best film, it is by far probably his most creative from a visual standpoint, and the dialogue is quick and snappy. The performances are fantastic. I know a lot of people say that he keeps casting his friends in things, and people always have issues with directors casting their friends. In my experience, I come to find that actually works as a positive, because you know the people you can trust that are going to show up on the day, hit their mark, say their lines the right way, and knock it out of the park. I can't say too much about the movie without spoiling it, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. You'll also notice I didn't show you the trailer, because now we're fucking with WB. And you don't want to fuck with the Brothers Warner when it comes to copyright stuff. So I think if you've watched anything on YouTube or on TV or anything, you've seen the trailer for the Suicide Squad. Some of the standout performances. John Cena as Peacemaker, great. Idris Elba as Bloodsport, great. Margot Robbie as Harley, again, she's always great. I did hear she's going to be taking a break, though, because she doesn't, because of what Harley kind of does to her brain. James Gunn does address the situation with her and Joker a little bit, and it's very subtle. It's not addressed directly, but it's kind of like, when you hear it, you'll know. Who else was Stallone was fantastic as like the comic relief in King Shark, just so good. And I'm doing this all in one take. But all I'll say is this, because I don't want to mess people's names up or exclude anyone, because it is, again, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I do have laundry to do in the morning, because you don't want Ron with smelly drawers. Your Uncle Ron doesn't want to have to come over and do laundry again, so he's going to go to the laundromat. But anyway, all the performances were fantastic. I mean, it's just, there's not really a bad thing to say about it, except for maybe it's a little long. And the way that they resolve things with the big bad. And I'm not going to say who the big bad is if you aren't a comic book fan. But if you're a comic book fan, you know who the big bad is. And when you find out how they stop the big bad, you're going to kind of, scratch your chin a little bit. Like, what? But overall, the Suicide Squad is a fantastic film. Stick around after the credits. There is a post-credit sequence. But yeah, it is, it's great. It's so good, and the dialogue is super snappy and super quick, and the the chemistry between Idris Elba and John Cena, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but the chemistry between the two is ridiculous. It is so good. But yeah, so if you have HBO Max, which is how I watched it because theater's still a little scaly, check it out. If you are a theater goer currently, head out to the theater, pay your $15 and watch The Suicide Squad. You're not going to regret it. It's a DC movie that's funny. It's serious when it needs to be. It's got heart. It's got character development. And these are all bad guys. None of these people are heroes. But you care about them, which is something that you can't say for a lot of the earlier DC movies. I'm a huge Superman fan, but I didn't care about Superman in Man of Steel or BVS or things like that. I didn't care about him. And that's the one character you're supposed to care about. But I care about these bad guys. I care what happens to them. So that right there is leaps and bounds when it comes to the DC department here. So we're going to wrap this up. Go see The Suicide Squad. I highly recommend it. It's one of James Gunn's best. So I'm very anxious to see how he tops this with Guardians 3. I really am. But we'll see what happens with all of that. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. What comic book movie are you looking forward to, or have you seen the one that you think is the best? So let me know down in the comments, and we will see you next time.